Hello families! Today I would like to share with you the strategy that I am teaching in class for rounding to the nearest 10. Now in third grade, students are supposed to round to the nearest 10 and 100, so it's really important that when they read the questions, they're paying careful attention to the place value. So upon seeing this, I encourage the students to tell them to underline nearest 10 and to even write a 10 next to the problem so they can keep in mind that they are rounding to the nearest 10. So I'm going to start with an example here of the number 58. When rounding to the nearest 10, first underline the place value, which would be the tens, and then write a 0 above the ones. The rule is when rounding to the nearest 10, you will always have a 0 in the ones place. The next step is for the student to write down two reasonable answer choices. So when rounding 58 to the nearest 10, there are only two possible reasonable choices. And the first is going to be 50. The second is 60. Now, when rounding to the nearest 10, I'm going to look at the tens place and then I'm going to look next door at my ones. And I notice I have 8 ones. The rule is if you have a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, you round up. So with this 8, I know that I'm rounding up to the nearest 10. Therefore, my answer will be 60. We also have to round to the nearest 10 in 3-digit numbers, hundreds. So I'm going to write an example of 743. Just like this first 2-digit problem, it is important to first identify the tens place because we are rounding to the nearest 10. In this case, it will be the 4. I will still write a 0 above the ones place, keeping in mind that rule that if I'm rounding to the nearest 10, my only possible reasonable answer will have a 0 in the ones place. My first reasonable choice will be 740. And if I add 10 to that number, my other reasonable choice would be 750. So now that I've taken these steps, I'm going to pause here, look back at my tens, and then look next door, and I notice it's a 3. My rule in rounding is if the number is a 4, 3, 2, or 1, then we're going to round back. So my answer to this problem, rounding to the nearest 10 for 743, will be 740. I really hope this helps you support your child at home. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.